2021, you guys had 22 followers on TikTok.
On TikTok, yes.
Today, you guys are 105,000 plus.
You make content, you make money.
Exactly. No matter how good your product is, if no one knows about it, it's not going to get anywhere. The key is marketing. I was never into business. My mind focus was always to retire my mum, look after my parents. And to do that, you need a lot of money.
My parents gave up on me. And T-shirt said you'd amount to nothing. If I was still on that path, I would have definitely ended up in jail, ended up there. Discipline became an important part of my life. Purpose gives you discipline.
We want our air fresheners to be the best. Not just the quality of the fragrance, it's the longevity.
A lot comes out. Very, very powerful.
That's
How's
more
it
than
smell,
enough.
man?
You know what it is? I usually have a blocked nose, but this is coming through even the blockage. People don't realize you're building someone else's dream. You can do that same thing for yourself. Just start. If it works,
progress.
double down. If it doesn't work, pivot. If you keep doing that,
I love that concept.
you
of
come to
pivoting.
something.
TikTok is a music app, and music using trending sounds was helping our videos blow up. After watching that video, in no way form can it be halal. Music stops here in all of our TikTok videos. We're gonna leave this off for the sake of Allah.
The next 2 months, what happened?
I've never seen that much money in a bank account at one time in my life.
Me neither.
That warehouse used to only be able to store a pallet and a half or 2 pallets.
Max, yeah.
We're sitting on 13 pallets in our new warehouse.
Allah
Within 2
Akbar.
months that happened.
This is the deen.
Barakallah.
You do what Allah has told you to do.
Yeah.
He will give you what He's. It's a very simple equation, my brother.
I don't know why we don't trust
If you
him.
do this, I will do this. But what if? There's no what if.
There's no way.
It's not.
Do it, and you'll see the results.
Trust this plan.
For 10 years, I've held back sharing my true self with you guys. It's now that I've realized that that wasn't something that was good to do. But now I've decided to open up a lot more and share with you my real life, raw experiences. I'm going to be sharing insights with you with regards to my marriage, with regards to my businesses, my seeking knowledge, my friendships, my ups and downs, smiles and frowns, the betrayals that I've seen, what life in Dubai is like. I have just one request from you. If this is something that you'd like to see more of, click the subscribe button. The way that we will measure whether this is something that you guys want and are benefiting from is if that subscribe button is clicked and those numbers go up. If not, then we know that you guys want something else and we'll redirect and change course. So click that subscribe button. With that said, let's get back into the podcast and hopefully you guys are going to get some value, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, welcome back to another episode of the Righteous and Rich podcast. It's that podcast where we're trying to be righteous and rich. We're aspiring to be righteous and rich. We're trying to show people that there is no contradiction between being on your deen, firm, uncompromising, whilst at the same time amassing and accumulating wealth so that you can use it for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The example I like to always give is the example of Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu, where Allah said, وَيَتَجَنَّبُهَا الْأَتْقَى. That Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu, he was atqa, he was the most pious out of all of the Prophet's companions. And he was also from one of the most wealthiest of all the Prophet's companions. Today, I'm excited because we have 2 brothers, Allah Mabarak, 2 young brothers, aspiring entrepreneurs that, as you can see, Allah Mabarak, from the table set up, they have their own brand, Noir, which is a luxury car fragrance brand. Or
Fragrance brand.
I'm going to let you guys introduce it properly because you're going to do justice to it. But if I could just give a little bit of an introduction to you guys from my perspective, in the sense where you guys, if I'm not mistaken, are the first brothers from the ends that we've had on the show.
Okay.
And when I say ends, I always mean there's I was talking to Bakr about it in the car. There's 2 meanings to it.
Okay.
There's the ends generally, like anyone who's from our type of culture.
Okay.
Right. What I mean by that is we didn't grow up in Oxford.
Yeah, true.
We grew up
Far
in the
from
ends. And then specifically, what I mean when I say ends is West London.
West London,
So
yes.
you guys are from the ends.
That's it.
Allahumma barik, right?
When I say ends, I don't mean west. I mean east. But
East.
I guess.
I'm from East now.
But like, he moved to West. So look, it's really inspiring to see you guys here, man, because being from the ends, when I say ends, I mean like the culture, like that type of upbringing where you haven't seen wealth around you, you haven't seen people that's been up your whole life. Running a business, akhi, is a whole different ball game, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's so much to it that people from the ends never actually end up clocking. And that's why they don't actually ever get out of the ends or the mentality of the ends, and they will forever just be working 9 to 5. And for some people 9 to 5 works, but I think for most people they would like to be able to take some type of control over their life. So to see you guys having done that, and we spoke about your story briefly just in the cafe when we were sitting, I was deeply inspired. So I'm really excited for you to be able to share this with the people, man.
Inshallah.
Allahumma barik.
So, you want to give him the...
Yeah, sure. So,
So How did it start? Because when we had a look at your social media and we did our little research, 2021, you guys had 22 followers
Oh wow, yeah.
On TikTok.
on TikTok.
On TikTok, yes.
Today, you guys are 105,000 plus.
Yeah.
Mashallah, tabarakallah. Right? And many products on your line now. You're coming here to the UAE. You're trying to expand, bring more things into your line, branch out. Chat to me, bro. How did it start, Ahmed?
So alhamdulillah, it started in our official launch date, October 2021. That was when Noir launched, but the setup before it, it was a year and a half before that. So at the time, so I'll go into briefly how me and Nakhil met. We were friends from the local area, and I ended up going to his sixth form. He was in a better sixth form. I was in a bit of a dodgy school. So I got good grades.
I love it.
And I moved into a better sixth form where Nakhil was going to high school. Moved there, we met up there, became friends and stayed in contact. We were very close in sixth form. Then obviously as I went off to uni, Nakhil went off to uni as well, done his own thing. We grew apart a little bit. And then after that, started to get closer again.
Mashallah.
At the time, Nakhili had other businesses, Allahumma barik. But me, I was never into business. My mind focus was always get good grades, go to university, and then have a good job afterwards. I was actually studying finance and accounting. So I was planning to become chartered accountant. After chartered accountant, get the big bucks, big four, all that stuff. And so after uni finished, I realized quite early on, uni was not for me, to be honest. Because half of it was during COVID. So in our third year, that half of the year was just during lockdown. So I was looking at it like I really paid $9,000 for basically half of a degree. Literally, that's the way I was looking at it.
Studied from Zoom.
Literally. And the first year...
Man paid 9K to study on Zoom. You know the funniest thing is some of those universities, they actually upload their lectures
onto
YouTube
Yeah.
in HD 4K quality.
Yeah, and you've paid for it.
I actually started going through some of the lectures from Yale University online. You know, Abbas, he taught himself.
Harvard
maths,
as well.
Physics from Harvard. Yeah,
Yeah,
Harvard.
Harvard as well do it as well.
So you literally do it for free.
Yeah, and the first year, a lot of lectures were being missed because the lecturers were on strike. And during that time, alhamdulillah, I got my hands on a book by Robert Kiyosaki called Rich Dad Poor Dad. I feel like this is the starting point for a lot of entrepreneurs. It's that book. After you've read that book, it's not really a very practical book, I would say, but it's a very big mindset shifter. It shifts your mindset as to the way you look at money, the way you look at the world. And he goes into it deep. Obviously, he's got his dodgy practices and stuff like debt, interest, all of that. But
yeah, he's pro debt, pro.
Yeah,
if anyone does look into him, guys, a bit of a shaitan in that regard. But this book, though,
yeah, that book,
It will open doors for you in your mind that you
facts,
didn't know.
and I'd recommend people to read it. Read it, obviously, make sure that you only take from it what's halal, but there's a lot of gems and eye-opening statements that he makes in there. For example, how he talks about the slave mindset, the working 9 to 5, rather than having a business, time, limited companies, just a lot of things, like just how money works. You realize that going into work, studying, that route is not, well, it wasn't for me, I would say.
Okay.
So after that, I got a job, and that job was a graduate scheme. Got it through. I always, even though I wanted to go through the job role, I always wanted a lot of money. That was the plan. I've always been financially motivated. That's why I went into accounting in the first place, because I knew a guy who was an accountant, and he was driving some very nice cars, lived in a nice area. So I wanted to go past that, because growing up from the ends, it's not like we grew up, like you said, in Oxford, nice big houses and all of that. I'm not saying I was poor growing up, but you're working class, and you always aim for more. Do you know what I'm saying? I wanted to retire my mum, look after my parents, look after my sisters. And to do that in the UK, subhanAllah, you need a lot of money. It's not a cheap lifestyle over there.
You want to make money, brother? Put money to the side. I know that doesn't really motivate you. You want to get closer to Allah. That's what we all want. But the reason I started with money is because sometimes money gets in the way of you getting closer to Allah. But what if there was a way for you to get closer to Allah and make money? Well, doesn't that sound a bit off, Imran? That sounds like immoral and wrong. But what if it wasn't? What if we actually had evidence from the Quran that there was a particular thing that you could do to get close to Allah and make money and not have to feel guilty about it? Well, then sign me up, brother Imran. Guys, what I'm talking about is setting up an Umrah company. Setting up an Umrah company is something that definitely gets you close to Allah, because you're going to the Kaaba regularly, you're worshipping Allah in Mecca, Medina. Not only that, you're getting rewarded for taking people who are going to be changing their lives in Mecca, Medina, and you can make money from it, and you can make very good money. You can work your way up to multiple 6 figures in a year if you work hard enough. Now, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you you're going to make 6 figures on your first trip. No, but you definitely can. We've got companies after 1 or 2 years already on 6-figure status. Alhamdulillah, we in our last year of our last 3 Umrah trips that we did made over 500,000 ourselves. Now, this is an opportunity that we're passing on to you guys, inshallah ta'ala. And like I said, Allah says in the Quran, لَيْسَ عَلَيْكُمْ جُنَاحٌ أَن تَبْتَغُوا فَضْلًا مِّن رَبِّكُمْ. There is, when you go to Hajj, there's no harm upon you. Then when you go to Hajj, you also seek to make some type of profit. I asked some of the Mashaykh, does this also apply to Umrah? They said it does. You make sure you're not charging people for the Umrah itself, but what you're doing is you're charging them for the service that you're providing, all of the back-end stuff that you're doing to be able to take them. So look, if you're interested in a business like this, click the link below, inshallah ta'ala, and hopefully we can get it cracking. Assalamu alaikum, peace.
Especially if you want to take everything on yourself. And that was always my dream. So went through, that's why I studied to go into accounting, because, you know, it's a high paying job. Went into that, realized this is not, obviously reading after reading the book, realized this is not for me. And then I just went into work and started picking at ideas. And subhanAllah, that's when Nikhil, me and him linked back up again, and he brought me the business idea.
So before we move on to how you guys connected, I think an important point to mention here is that I think most people are financially motivated in terms of work, right? Like, and there's nothing wrong with that, because the reason you work is to earn.
Yes.
And the more you earn, the more you can be free in terms of the commitments that you have, and then you can spend time doing the things that you actually care about. For example, spending time with your loved ones, primarily worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, seeking knowledge, and so on and so forth. The issue here is that most people don't know the opportunities of how to make money.
It's true.
I remember I was watching this podcast of this one guy, and he said something very interesting. He said, every time I go up a level when it comes to my money and my finances, my success as a businessman, and I enter a new group of people, I realize that they're playing money games that we didn't know about at the level below. Now, it doesn't mean it's actually a game, but he means that, for example, the way they look at money and the things they do and the things that they know about how to make money and how to move money around, it's a different level. And it's like there's a curtain, and I don't know what's happening behind the curtain until I've made enough money to enter that stage. And then once I've entered that stage, I've gone behind the curtain, I'm around those people, then they're like, yeah, do this, do that, do this. And you're like, if I knew that 2-3 years ago, I would have been up 2-3 years ago.
A simple example, we'll let the brother carry on after this. A simple example is just taxes. As an employee, you're taxed before the money even reaches you. As a business, there's so many loopholes and this and that and this legally that you can do.
Legally,
Like Nike, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they pay any tax whatsoever. There's things you can do to avoid it, but you can't do that as an employee. But they don't tell you. You don't realize that. And imagine all that money that leaves your paycheck. You see it, but it never reaches your bank account. Imagine you could have all that money in your hand.
And be life changing.
And the important thing here, and this is why I read so much, and because I remember when I started practicing. When I started practicing, I only knew how to make money in a way that was illegal or haram. I used to have a recording studio, music studio. You see, that's haram, right?
Yeah.
So I had to shut it down. I shut it down in a moment. Like, I just went in one day, I just felt sick by the place. I had started praying. The salah just led me to just leave it. So when I left it, I remember sitting there thinking, bro, you see me? I don't know how to make money in a way that's halal. I only know how to make money that's illegal, which is haram anyway, or like actual haram, right? So how did I get out of that with the permission of Allah? I started reading, bro. I remember I actually purchased a book. I always forget the name of the author, and it's so bad because he's one of the biggest authors when it comes to like marketing, direct response marketing. Maybe you guys have heard, check him out. He had a book called Marketing to the Affluent. Marketing to the Affluent. I remember I read that book, and he said something on the first page. He said, you see, or in the first chapter or introduction, he said, you see, me, I never went to uni, but I hired people that went to uni. I was like, okay. So you cannot go to uni and actually be up. And the point he was making was that they don't actually teach you how to make money in uni. They teach you how to be an employee in uni.
It's true.
Right? Which is problematic. So my things, I started reading that. I try to, when I'm fully on that reading mode and I'm just on that, like, let me just consume knowledge. Currently I'm in an implementation mode of my life, right? But I'm always reading, right? In Sharia books and also business books and personal development books. But when I'm in that mode, I'll do one book every 3 days. And just
Allahumma
yeah,
barik.
because in there, a man has summarized his life's experience and wisdom in a particular area of expertise in one book. I'll take that any day. The second thing is to bring yourself around people that are up or that are doing these things, because they will be able to show you, do this, do that. Like recently, there was a brother that we sat with. We were struggling with our finances, right? In terms of, you wouldn't have this issue because you know how to count numbers, Allah better. But for us, like we know how to make money, but managing the money is not our strength. We blow it quickly. So we've been trying to fix that. We brought a brother on account.
We went from 3 or 4 employees to like 16 within like 3 months.
Wow.
Let me give you context.
Insane
Twice in
growth.
my life,
Yeah.
I've had 100K. We've had 100K cash. And went back down to zero. Twice.
Wow.
Twice.
In 1 year.
Same year.
Same year. So it's a mushkila for us. We sat with this one brother who's a CEO of a company where he manages like 250
Regional
employees.
CEO.
Regional
Of
CEO,
the
right?
MENA region, yeah.
Oh wow.
So what
Middle
he
East
did
and
is
North
he
Africa.
sat down with our finance guy. He said, look, do this. They sat with him for an hour. The brother it's like his mind opened.
Wow.
And
Who did he sit with? Sorry.
our finance guy.
Okay.
He's I wouldn't say CFO, but if we were a big enough company, he would have been our CFO.
Okay.
But he's our head of finance, Allah Barik. And the brother, he told him a couple plays. Like next thing you know, we're £8,000 in profit.
Wow.
Above, like already.
Not in profit, but as in we've reduced
that's
£8,000.
profit.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, that's profit.
If you're in loss, not necessarily. As in,
But we're not enough.
Okay. Never
Oh, so
mind.
you've come out of loss now and you've got.
It works mad. Yeah, we're making 60K a month average.
Okay.
Allahumma barik.
Our
Allahumma
expenses are like 30 to 40K depending on what we do that month. But every month we're on zero.
barik. Okay, so there's money leaking out of somewhere.
Yeah, definitely.
More than leaking.
But now we've done it in a way where those problems won't happen, that leakage won't happen,
Yeah.
and also we cut certain costs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like for example, the brother brought us into, and maybe you look into this, is that you can hire people from Pakistan.
Yeah.
So certain guys are paying them £2,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the guy in Pakistan would do the same job for £115.
£150, yeah.
Now it's true, you might need to train him a little bit. But
Yeah.
like, let's-
Also, you know things you
I'm
overlook,
definitely-
like softwares we bought over a year ago.
Yeah.
We stopped using it. It was like, bro, it's £20, bro. Let's leave
There's
it. I don't realize it. They
Adds
There
up.
was something that I preached heavily when we started Noir. And the number one thing is, it's all well and good making money. But the best way to do it is business is all numbers. It's very simple. Make as much as you can, but I think people forget the other side, which is try to cut your expenses as much as possible.
Much as possible.
If you're making 100K and you have 100K in expenses, you're making nothing.
Nothing.
It looks beautiful. I'm making 100,000 a year. It looks beautiful. It looks good, but you're not making any money. So when we first started Noir, for instance, and of course we'll go into it further, the thing that we tried to do as much as possible was being resourceful. And a funny way to put this is, we used to use Royal Mail as a postage courier. We used to use DHL mailing bags, Amazon bags to pull the orders downstairs. And who else was there? There was DPD labels. So UPS sent us free labels.
Yeah.
Then we used the Royal Mail service to print Royal Mail shipping service, Amazon bags to drag them down, and DPD mailing bags.
So how much were you cutting?
We cut,
DHL,
so
yeah.
essentially mailing bags were free. We pay for no mailing bags. So what we used to do, there's a DHL
Depot.
exactly. A depot we used to go to, and initially we had an account with them.
Yeah, we've got an account, so
We
it's
still
all
got an
allowed.
account with them.
by
It's
the way.
allowed.
We didn't steal anything.
We didn't steal nothing. We're allowed to do it. But we stopped using their services because we found out they're too expensive. Royal Mail is cheaper, essentially. But they go, nobody called us to tell us, listen, you can't take any bags. So we're like, you know what? Nobody stopped us. We're not going to stop. So we'd go there, just give our company name, and they'd be like, oh, yeah, we've got an account, and what bags you need? Just tell them what bags, and they give us the bags for free. Khalas. That's how that was. The UPS, there was a hack back then times. So what it was essentially, if you open an account with them, something along those respects, they will send you a box of labels for free. So we got those labels. Amazon bags. We came outside of our warehouse basically one day, and there's just a pile of bags somebody left there, because basically where our initial unit was based, it's in the middle of Hayes basically, West London. So they just left them there, so we just took them in. Khalas, and started using
So how much was that? How much were you saving per unit there?
So mailing bags, let's just say we finally got the prices now. It's about 20p a mailing bag, just for that. And each label, let's just say packing slip and shipping label, 2p. So 22p we saved.
20p.
22p. Now let's just say that's 1,000 orders.
That's what I was gonna say.
220 quid. That 220 quid for us.
As a startup,
As a
it's
startup,
very important.
it's a lot of money. Every penny goes a long way. And I don't think people realize it's pennies that make a pound, and it's a pound that makes 100.
Well,
And
yeah,
people need to
actually,
start understanding that it takes the little bits that make it something a lot bigger. So that was one thing we really implemented. As you were saying, it's those little leaks, right? You have to catch them.
And the thing is, you've done it there, but you've probably done it here as well, and here as well, and here as well. And next thing you know, you saved 2-3 racks.
Resourcefulness is so important.
Very
and I don't think people understand. Try to cut your expenses as much as possible. It's the number one thing in business. Just try to cut your expenses. Don't take shortcuts. Shortcuts, they will come around and catch you. Some people will quality will. Let's just say you decide to go with a worse courier just to save yourself £1 on shipping. If the courier service is worse, customer receives the order late, customers aren't happy, they spread the word, your business goes down the drain.
I'll tell you a stat, yeah? This is before social media. And the stat Boots were the one that published this. They said for every customer that has a bad experience with you, they'll tell 20 people about it.
Yeah.
There you go.
20 people. And that was before social media. Now it's probably a different thing.
Have you guys noticed something when you go on any website? Bad reviews galore.
Oh yeah.
But when you look for good reviews, there's not a lot of them. People jump at an instant. For example, let's say we have an issue. The amount of people that will jump to leave a bad review is instantaneous. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. I believe there's something along the lines of when it comes to a lie, it spreads like wildfire. But when there's the truth, the haqq, when you're meant to speak on that, it spreads slow. I don't know what it is.
Even just when it comes to specifically reviews.
Yeah.
Like when you buy something, you have a sense of entitlement. Not entitlement, but you expect it to do what you want it to do.
You pay for it.
So if it does what it does, in your mind it's like, it wasn't good, it wasn't bad, it just did what I asked it to. If it's negative, that's when it's like, let me write a bad review, because I wasn't expecting that.
100%.
And a good review usually only comes when they get something that over-delivers. When they had a certain expectation, if you meet it, which is what you're supposed to do at the very minimum, you're not going to get good, you're not going to get bad.
It's true.
Unless you get a Karen, then you're going to get... There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
But if they have a negative experience, they'll speak negative. If they have a good experience, then...
100%.
Even what people don't realize is that if you actually fulfill on the promises that you gave, and you give the customer a good experience, 20% of your income is just from referrals.
Yeah.
That's if you have a good product.
Good product.
So if you as in you won't even need to know marketing, just based on referrals. Like people are just telling their friends. So you're able to literally run a business. Because I can think about it, back in the days when whenever people used to want to sell a product, there was no marketing, there was no advertisements. I'm talking like we're going back hundreds of years, right?
Yeah.
It was referrals.
Word of mouth.
But look, alhamdulillah, with that, coming to you now, he's read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Yeah. Mr. Robert, like I did before he died, he's an old man, I mean, and how did you come into the mix?
All right, so as Ahmed Bhai said, as what he's known as, essentially, I was in sixth form.
Did you introduce the names?
Ahmed Nakhil.
Ahmed and Nakhil.
And so with myself, of course, we went to the same sixth form. The sixth form he joined, I went to that high school as well. And going back a little further than that, I didn't actually, year 7, I didn't come there in year 7. I actually went to a place called Cranford Community.
Oh yeah, I know Cranford
Community. I went. I was there from year 7, year 8, year 9, and I was, you can say, a mess. And year 9, I got kicked out of Cranford. And them times, all you used to ever hear was,
"This is the ends."
Yeah, this is the ends.
This is the ends.
And subhanallah, the way I got kicked out essentially was violence and stuff, stupid things. And the one thing I would always hear, and I love to be where I am today, I always like to say this, is people would always say you'd amount to nothing. And I'm not saying I've come far. I think there's a lot further to go. However, it's nice, that feeling, knowing that by Allah's mercy, I've come to where I am today, inshallah.
Who used to say that you used to?
Teachers, in some respects, rightfully so, my parents would say as well, the road you're heading down, the path you're heading down, you're going to end up nowhere. Stop doing this, fix up, right? And teachers said you'd amount to nothing. And this is not to say, look at me, like they said this and I'm here now. It's just to show that what I've heard once somebody saying, this is Les Brown. Have you heard of Les Brown?
No.
Like a motivational speaker. Les Brown is like a very good motivational speaker. I used to listen to him a lot when I was younger as well. And he said, other people's opinions is none of your business. Let people say what they want to say. It's none of your business. Let them do what they want to say. Let them say what they want to say. So I got kicked out and ended up at Bishop's Holt. Bishop's Holt was a huge shift for me. I went from a place...
It's a school.
Bishop's Holt is the school we went to.
Just come back to... How did it make you feel when they said that in the moment?
So in that moment there, you're hard-headed. And you don't realise the actions you're taking. And you don't realise the severity of your actions either. And most certainly, if I was still on that path and I persisted with it, I would have definitely ended up in jail, ended up dead.
So what was the point that made your mindset change from up to you're doing delinquent things with the man, I assume,
doing all that.
and now
The shift came. All right, so it was with my parents, really and truly, and I'm so grateful to my parents. And I don't think from the whole point of birth, you can never repay your parents as it is, but they genuinely saved me when I say this. And that was, my parents were always there to back me in my corner and support me in respect of, they'll jump in, they'll support me. At United Fronts, at home though, the bashing of my life, you know, whatever comes to their tongue, they'll just say it and try to put me in my place and try to make me see what I'm doing. And the point came when they gave up on me in some respect. My parents gave up on me.
That's mad.
So what happened was I went to Bishop's Hall. Essentially, in Bishop's Hall, I was still on my stupid nonsense. I didn't stop. And what I used to do, I used to hustle. You got a nug. You got a nug. You got a nug. That stupid nonsense.
Pound.
You got a pound. A nug is a pound. Yeah. And just go to people. And then what happened was the school found out. I used to do a lot in Cranford. And it was one of the reasons I got kicked out as well. I did it in Bishop's Hall still. Astaghfirullah, Allah forgive me for that. What happened was, the school called my dad and said, listen, your son's been going on asking people for money. Come take your son. And this, I've just got here 2 months in.
How much do you make when you're asking for
Oh man, it was like 20 quid, 10 quid.
But you know what I'm saying? This is not a begging thing.
It's not a begging.
Because
it's not a begging.
Bro, this is a...
It's not my generation.
No, this is a...
The gambling thing.
No, you got a nug.
Oh.
You got a nug, bro.
It's not, please, sir. Can I have some more? This man's going to pressure him, man. You got a nug, G.
No. The best way to put it...
When you put man's going around his hands like this, yeah, please, sir. Can I have some more?
It's not like that, man. And the best way somebody put it in Cranford, one of the teachers that clocked me doing this, he said, this is extortion, which is what it was.
Okay, man, was
So it was literally extortion. And the way I even got this idea was the elders used to do it to me. So I was like, you know what, it's my turn now, and I flipped it on others, and I started
saying, hurt people.
Yeah, it was just one of them ones where it was like, you know what, it's my turn now. And yeah, of course they found out in Bishop's Hall I was still doing this stuff, and what happened was, told my dad, take him home, took me home. My dad goes, I've got nothing else to say to you. Literally, he goes, I can't do nothing else. He goes, change your clothes. My dad has his own business. He took me to the shop and sat me down at the till. That's it, khalas. He didn't shout at me. He didn't get angry at me. He didn't, and this is fine. They have all the right to. He didn't scold me, didn't slap me, punch me, nothing at all. My dad's a hot-headed person. Rightfully so, he had his right to be angry with me. But he said nothing. He goes, there's nothing else I have to say to you. Just change and come. And then at that moment, sitting at that till at the shop, I was like, yo, Pops hasn't flipped. And I'm like, I need to fix up. This is enough's enough. Like, this is serious. Like, my dad's acting like nothing's happened. And I'm like, this is not normal. And I've done a lot of other stuff to the point where my dad's flipped and lost it. And I'm just, okay. And then that moment there, I decided that enough's enough, flip your life. But the number one thing that people don't realize, and I think the reason why I was so wrong in my ways, was the people that I was surrounded by. A lot of my friends were people, as in ends we say, roadmen. You know, going around selling this, selling that, doing this, doing that, hood ratting and this nonsense. And it was difficult because all of these friends I grew up with from Cranford, even from my primary school, I grew up with these people. So I had to make the decision, if I stay in this way, either I lose my parents, I lose everything, or I have to lose these friends. And I decided enough's enough. I left it. It was a very difficult transition because you go from going with a group of people and a group of friends to becoming alone and having nobody to be with. However, the transition had to be made. Is what it is. So decided to...
So you're saying that shifting your mindset was not possible if you didn't shift the people?
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, imagine you want to change your life from somebody who is... I'm trying to think of an example. Enough is coming to mind though. But let's say you want to shift from being somebody who's always depressed and angry and stuff, and you're surrounded by those people, correct? People who are always depressed and angry, always talking negative. All right, let's say these people always see the negative in the world. Negative, they just see what's wrong with the world. However, you're like, listen, I want to start being more happy. I don't want to live like this. But you still stay with those people, you're going to stay like that. It's very difficult to leave it. You, as I said in the religion, you are the religion of your friends. You are the religion of your friends. Morals, values, chill with 5 rich people, you become the 6th one. Chill with 5 intelligent people, you become the 6th one. It's basically, in essence, that respect. And I couldn't change my life being with those people, so I decided enough's enough. And of course, it was difficult. They would call me, they would shout me, listen, why are you not coming out? Why are you not doing this? I'm busy. And one way I kept myself busy was straight after school, I'd take myself to gym by myself. I remember my routine was finish school, get on the U4, get off at Hayes Town.
U4 is a bus.
U4 is a bus. And go to Subway, little tuna 6-inch. Used to munch that, and then go straight to the gym, work out, and go home. By the time I got home, I was tired from the whole day. I was like, I'm not coming out, and I kept myself busy. I disciplined myself on that, and that was routine. And discipline became an important part of my life.
Well, even I've realized recently, man, having a schedule.
It's important, man.
It will, bro. Not you can't say it will give purpose to your life, but it will give you direction.
Yeah.
Guidelines. There's barriers now. You know, like when you're bowling, like, but you're gonna keep throwing them into the gutter. You're gonna keep hitting gutter balls. But, you know, when you're a noob and they put those guardrails up, even if you hit it, will bounce you back onto the path.
I think
bounce you back, and then you hit the.
Purpose gives you discipline. When you know where you're going and you understand the severity and importance of your purpose, it will make you discipline yourself.
You know, people need to actually do that. You know, the religion actually teaches you discipline.
Yeah.
Like this. In Arabic, they call it indibat, right? Like if you look at your day, it's based around a salah times. As in, so now I have to manage my sleep around that. I have to manage my food, everything around the salah times. Not only that, Deen teaches me to manage my finances. You know, zakat, I cannot give my zakat. You know that when zakat is given, on the day it's due, you have to calculate everything that's worthy of zakat being on it. I said, most of us, we live life not being on top of our finances. We're not counting, we're not keeping up to date. Do you understand? So, like, even from that angle, you're managing your year. Ramadan's coming at this time, so I can't do this at this time of day. I've got to do that at the time of day. Even the actions of the salah, you know, something that my sheikh was telling me recently, he was saying, you know, when you look at the salah, like, why is it the positions are in the way that they are, and there's details to these positions and the way that it is the way that it is like one of the things, wisdoms perhaps, is discipline. Like, when you're in salah, stand up straight. Like the books of fiqh, they mention, like, don't be leaning on something. Stand up straight. But why is it that I have to stand up straight and I can't lean? Because the Prophet taught you to stand, but why stand in that way? Because it's discipline, right? Like even when you're when you go into sujood, the Prophet would spread his hands out, his elbows would come out, right? And the scholars mention in the books of fiqh that you lift your stomach off your thighs. As you know, people, when they make sujood, for the women, it's mentioned that they should, when they make sujood, be close and tight, because a woman should be covered, right? But for a man, should be spread out, as in. But that requires like some like abdominal
strength.
Abdominal strength, like man, actually just, you know what I'm saying, like doing these actions with intent. So even little things like this, like to the point where the Prophet said, it's sunnah that when you get up from salah, you get up from the right side. When you're in jama'ah, you don't get up from the left. You get up from the right side, right? Now, why all these little things? Of course, there's benefit in the right side. The right side is virtuous. The Prophet loved the right side, but also is like an element of discipline. So if a person really on his deen, it's hard to not be disciplined if you're actually on it. I usually find that brothers who are struggling with discipline, they'll be struggling with things like going to pray salah in the masjid, fasting Monday and Thursday. It's a package.
Let's bring it back to Noir. So you guys, how did you get into the perfume industry?
Oh yeah, so as you said, we met in sixth form and stuff, and how we got into this basically was, as you said, I had another venture during that time that I was doing, and I came across the concept of I worked at duty free as well, so I worked at World Duty Free for a little bit, and
like
my love for everyone from West London, man, Heathrow's local, innit? So I fell in love with fragrances there.
Okay.
And I started to learn about fragrances, all sorts of.
What store did you work at? Which fragrance store?
I didn't work at a store. I worked for duty free actually. I didn't work for an agency.
Okay.
However, I was always at the stores getting called back to the tills. They didn't like me. I used to just end up going there, smelling the fragrances and stuff. And I fell in love with fragrances, and I used to use. We used to get discounts, right? So I used to always buy it, and I used the perfume in my car. And I was like, this is getting a bit expensive now. Looked around, and I found a similar concept to this basically. And I was like, you know what? They're not doing it good enough. We can do better. And then times, Ahmed, of course, as he said, he read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he posted it on his story on Snapchat. And I knew he's read that book, and I go, anybody who's read that book, they will understand the importance of business.
You already read it.
I read that book already. So I started my personal development actually started when I was 16. So I'm not sure if you brothers know. No, I was younger than 16. Wow, I was about 15. And the reason it started was, I'm pretty sure you guys know, you come from that era as well, ACN.
Yes.
Everyone knows ACN.
Everybody knows ACN. And Hounslow, it was the thing. One of my cousins brought me into it, and I was 15, bro.
Okay.
And I started ACN at 15. I wasted about $1 or $2 grand, but it was one of the greatest investments that I made because of the way it shifted my mindset. What they do is up to them, but in regards to the things they taught you in regards to just mental shift and things we need to do, it really shifted my mind towards business. And as I was saying, in regards to this, Ahmed read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I read that book and I understood the importance of it. I said, Ahmed, you know what? I know you're very rich dad, poor dad. Let's connect and let's sit down and crunch the numbers. And
for this idea that you had in the back of your mind.
Essentially. Okay. And once we put the numbers together, we eventually came to the conclusion that, you know what, we can do this. So we sat down, it was in my garden, I still remember. We sat down in my garden. Ahmed thought of the name Noir. Is he going to tell them how Noir came around?
That for another time, inshallah.
Is that for another time?
the story of the name, but
there's a story.
Yeah, the name. It sounded nice as well. You could say.
Yeah,
nice.
Noir.
It means black, right?
Black in French. Yes.
That's why everything is black. And we put our money together. We literally wherever we could find a little 5, a little 10, a little 15, 20 quid, put it all together.
I've done the Somali version of a committee. You could say.
Oh, you went around asking for the nug.
Nah.
Auntie.
Where's you got nug? Yeah, I've done that.
Call it Hawala, right?
Hagbad.
Okay.
Hagbad, yeah, they call it Hagbad.
So Hawala wasn't trying to send money.
Yeah.
Hawala, that's
Hawala, yeah.
International
money
transfer.
transfer.
Sorry.
You know Hawala, yeah?
You know, Hawala, yeah.
Oh wow.
Dahabshi, I know all that.
Dahabshi, you know.
Hawala.
MashaAllah. But yeah, that's how and we basically just went halves on it.
Okay. Yeah.
It went halves on it, put the money together.
How
How much are we
that?
talking?
The first one, can we say?
So totaling up, it was between 10 to 15 grand.
Yeah.
Okay.
We managed to put together. But this
That's a
didn't happen.
hefty investment. I love that.
Yeah.
It didn't happen straight away though. This took us a couple of months to put together.
You're talking about setting up Noir.
Noir,
Before
yes.
that, you were doing a similar thing, but for someone else.
Yeah, basically.
And you had made your money from that. That's one thing I want to touch upon, because people don't realize what you're currently doing. You're building someone else's dream. You can do that same thing for yourself
100%.
and build your own dream.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't even realize this. Bro, you're an accountant.
Yeah.
Bro, set up your own accountancy. Get your own clients. You're a doctor. Bro, set up your own medical clinic or whatever it is. Like, you can take what people think, oh, I'm going to have to do something completely new and then come up with an invention of a flying car and that's going to be a bit... Nah, just do what you're doing currently for someone else.
100%.
Do it for yourself. And I feel like the fact that you guys did that, actually, beautiful, amazing. I love that. I love that. And it shows that sometimes people think that there's only two paths. If I carry on doing what I'm doing, or I have to do... Sometimes you have to make your own path.
100%.
So a third path in the middle, you might not see it clearly, or you might have to cut the trees, the vines out of the way to see the path. You make that path, man. And once you've made that path, other people will see that path now and they'll follow you through that path.
You have to choose
friends, family, whatever.
If you have to choose anything, choose to pave your own path, not to follow in the footsteps of another man. Unless it's the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And
for 15 grand, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, we managed to put it together.
But the thing is that you grinded. You were both grinding for 6 months to a year before that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Stacking.
And there you had started off with, you guys mentioned £220.
£220. So essentially, in regards to the thing that we done before, we don't really bring that up to anyone.
Okay.
Reason being, it's still competition for us.
Okay.
They're
Makes
still
sense.
about. They exist.
That's why they mentioned the name.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
It's just a matter of the reason we don't bring up, because we're like, alhamdulillah, we left them now.
Yeah,
where they are where they are. And
but it's important to mention that because people might think, wait, these guys had 15 grand.
Yeah,
They're not from the end, bro. They didn't struggle. They didn't really grind, bro. Man got 15 grand loan from his...
And the things obviously won't mention details, but the other thing, you guys promoted that so much so that people thought you owned that. Like you done such a good thing with the marketing along with it. So you earned your stripes. You made your piece.
And you started with 220.
How we really started was he had 220, I put 220, came to 440, and we started off. And then
bought some stock, flipped
sold the stock, doubled the money, kept doing that.
And I was still working at the time. Nakhil had his other business venture. It was
that's what I wanted to get at.
Yeah.
You guys, it's not just, I got 15 grand and that's what we started.
No, we never had
These guys grinded.
We grinded.
Yeah, we grafted.
A lot of money.
And Bakr, just to let anyone, if you want to start, especially a product-based business with 15 grand just like that with no prior experience, that's actually very risky.
Yeah.
It is.
Because that's stock that you've got now and you can't really do anything with it. But the fact that they took it in increments, initially you bought £440 worth of stock, flipped it.
Realize there's a market here, realize we know what we're doing, realize we can scale this.
How to advertise this particular product.
Actually, if somebody comes and drops you 100 grand in your hand right now, you'll never appreciate it.
Yeah.
However, if you go and you grind and you put every penny together and you get the 100 grand, it's worth it. And it tastes a whole lot more sweeter.
100.
So really and truly, it's humble beginnings, but I'd always encourage it. Just start off there and start somewhere. Start small.
Put a MVP out, minimum viable product.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's a new phrase for me.
Minimum viable product, yeah.
Okay.
There's a book called The Lean Startup.
Okay.
You guys... It's very, very good.
Okay.
He talks about the process of how to improve your product. So he comes from a tech background, so he talks about how they do it for like software, but the whole point he makes in the book, and we don't have a software company, you can apply it to any business. any business. You know who actually taught me about that? Ustad Yasir.
MashaAllah.
Yeah, Ustad Yasir. I remember when he was studying at university. He's like, there's a book called...
The whole point of it is don't get too bogged down on
the details.
perfecting everything. Just start.
Perfection.
If it works,
Progress.
double down. If it doesn't work, pivot. If it works, double down. If it doesn't work, pivot. And just keep doing that. If you keep doing that,
I love that concept.
you
of
come to
pivoting.
something.
Pivot,
That's the
yeah.
book.
Pivoting is beautiful.
That's the book.
I think I heard it from you guys as well. Listen to the podcast.
Okay.
It was from you guys I learned. Just don't stop. Just pivot.
Just pivot.
Pivot.
Yeah.
Keep turning. Doors will open somewhere.
Pardon the interruption, but in case you ever wanted to move to Dubai, I've got something very special for you. As you may be aware, myself and Abu Bakr moved to Dubai and Sharjah last year. It was one of the best decisions that we ever made for our deen, our families, and our businesses. Living here is amazing. You've got a masjid in almost every single street, unparalleled safety and security. You've got lessons from mashayikh and different teachers and students of knowledge in English and Arabic, and no income tax. Now, how do you move here? That's a question that you might be asking. Well, it can be tough if you don't know your way around things. Sometimes the companies that help you get visas here, they got hidden fees, long waits, big problems, resulting in visa rejections, a lot of wasted money and time. This is where Ansar Consultants comes into play. They helped us set up everything. No hidden fees, no long waits. They kept it simple and honest. I got my visa in less than a month. And these guys have a 100% track record helping brothers get their visa so far. 100% track record. That's insane. Allahumma barik. Now, if you're thinking of moving to the UAE, I recommend Ansar Consultants. They can even help you invest in properties here with a 100% Sharia compliant contract. So if you want a smooth move like we did, click the link below and check out Ansar Consultants. Now, back to the podcast.
But yeah.
So look, now he's come, you guys got this money together, you've launched the product, right?
So can I mention one more thing that they mentioned earlier that I was actually saving for the podcast? You said 6 months before the launch,
Barakallah feek.
you guys worked on the branding.
Yes.
People sleep on branding. I think I see the messages that Sammy posts on his Instagram story that people message him saying, "Can I get a logo for £20? Or can I, can you do this? Can you do this?" You guys spent 6 months before you launched on the branding. Why?
Yeah.
Why did you see value in branding?
The main reason is we understanding the power of a brand is what will really allow your business to grow. There's certain brands out there, for example, Lamborghini, loads of luxury brands. You don't see them on TV, you don't see them on Facebook ads, but you know their name because their brand is so strong. And because of that, not only will people buy it even without the marketing, they'll buy it for whatever price they want to put on that product. That's how strong the brand is.
What's important also to understand was what brand means. A lot of people get confused. I used to get confused a lot as well. So branding is what someone thinks about your business.
What they think about your business.
What they think. It's the associations that they have with your business. If I have this stove now, suddenly, if I put an Armani logo on there or a Valentino logo, straight away,
like
in your mind, you pay the rack above, right? If I put a Primark logo, £50.
Exactly.
The brand,
it's very important.
It speaks volumes. So on that note, you guys spent 6 months working on this.
Yeah.
All right. And then again, when we were in the cafe and you were talking, one thing that really stuck out to me was that when you told the story, this is how you told the story. Yeah. I was hoping you'd tell it in a similar way here now because I was going to pick something out.
Okay.
But you said, here's what we did. We got the money together for Noir, was working, was grinding, was doing this, we're building the website for about 3 to 6 months, and then we launched.
Yeah.
And then you went into the details of what happened after the launch. But you know what's mad? Is that those 3 to 6 months, the boring stuff.
Yeah.
Like for most people.
Let's give you the gist of that, basically.
You know what I'm saying? Like
we'll give you some more detail to that
but
properly.
yeah, the reason I want you to go into that is because that is where, like, I remember my sheikh said it to me. He said, when people study about Imam Bukhari, they hear about the end of the story.
Yeah.
He memorized 1 million hadith and he was this great Imam. You don't understand the struggle.
Yeah.
Because that's what made him. Because when you hear about Ibn Taymiyyah, you hear about the great scholar, but you don't hear about the fact that his family would go to the beach and he would stay at home memorizing a book. Like, you don't hear about the hard work, the grind. So everyone hears about, okay, you launched Noir and Allah sold out 3 times in 2 months.
Nah.
But tell us about the struggle.
So
The struggle,
the
yeah.
beautiful thing about this that I'd love to say is people could call it overnight success. No, for example, the example you see, Usain Bolt. They only see the 9 seconds that he races and finishes that 100 meter. But those 15 years of graft he put in behind the scenes, racing every day, diet, nutrition, everything to the point, I don't know what he done. Nobody sees that, but people just be overnight success. Just done 9 seconds. That's all they see.
Yeah.
But 100%, there's a lot that goes in behind the scenes. And I think the people that are willing to continue to work, regardless of the fact that people can see what they're doing and still push, people don't see that, right? And people are like, they don't see this, so what's it worth? Because a lot of people are concerned with how they look, right? But those 3 to 6 months, our one vision was we're going to make Noir look like a luxury brand. Luxury is very important, and the name luxury, since we began it, it's incredible to see how many more luxury brands have popped up ever since then.
Luxury air fresheners.
Luxury air fresheners, luxury fragrance
You guys
brand.
cut the path.
And we're like, okay, you're luxury now. I don't know what you lot were before. But that's Allah's mercy. Alhamdulillah. Of course.
Okay, well, like, imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
Yeah. And it used to really annoy me. Then I heard this once. And just because the photocopy can, just because a fax machine or a photocopy can print the Mona Lisa doesn't make an artist. So just because it can print it out the same way, make it look the same. The thing what people will never understand is they see what they see, right? They see what you're doing, but they don't see why you're doing it. There's a deeper level to it. Why did we make it into a luxury brand? You'll never see that. But of course, as I said, as we were saying, we thought of the name Noir. This was in, let's say, March 2021. This was when we thought of the name Noir. Me and Ahmed, we sat down, made the website, the branding, the logo, sitting down with suppliers, designing the can. And the funny thing was when we first made this can, it wasn't actually like this. It was a little bit different. And there was a lot of tweaks that had to be made eventually until we found the perfect color. If we could find a picture, I'll show you guys a picture. The can never was black, it was blue.
Okay.
Very dark blue.
It was very dark blue. When you put it in the sunlight, it's like a blue can. And people started thinking, does no one mean blue, bro? I go, no, it means black. So people were confused in that respect. And alhamdulillah, we managed to figure out the solution to making it black. And that was that. But as we were saying, 3 to 6 months thinking of the logo, even like the whole respect. If you see here, the luxury air freshener, we had something else written there before. It was called high pressure deodorizer. The old schoolers who the original cult followers of Noir would know was high pressure deodorizer. So branding, as much as we done in 3-6 months, it still changed after. But we still spent a great deal of time.
Why did you change that?
We changed it because high pressure deodorizer.
Bro, we don't know what that means.
Yeah, in my mind, I'm thinking that sounds like some
Deodorant,
flamethrower. No, in my mind, I'm thinking flamethrower or something.
Flamethrower. Yeah. It was. It didn't sound nice. Luxury air freshener though. Immediately.
Clicks. Speaks to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
It's not what you say. It's how you say it.
Explains it
So,
simply.
Yeah. In regards to that 3 to 6 months, is there something I'm missing out on in regards to that time that we done?
There was a lot of back and forths.
Yeah.
A lot of we had issues with our so finding a supplier, number one, is very difficult. That's very difficult for the specific, a good one where we were happy with the samples, happy with the products. And one of the major things about our products that makes it very different is not just the quality of the fragrance, is the longevity. Like if you use this inside your car or use it in your house, whatever, you won't find another air freshener that well, barely any on the market that we've seen personally that will last for as long as this.
I can vouch for that.
Customers and our reviews tell them it lasts for days. That's what they tell us.
The car. We used to have this massive studio.
Yeah.
Right, like 6 times the size of this. Or the upstairs was at least
Upstairs was double this, and then downstairs was like 3-4 times.
Just open pick, but would stay for time.
It would last.
What did it say? Just 3 sprays. That's what it said.
2 to 3 sprays for a space like that. Yes.
Well, and it would just stay.
Yeah, I'd do it in my car and I'd just spray it and I'd leave it. But like someone walking past, probably think someone hotboxed his car or something. Literally, they just
yeah.
Smoke salad. We come back after.
I'm so tempted to just spray it right now.
We will do it, Shah. But yeah, even getting to that level, we always knew that we want our air fresheners to be the best. And when you want something to be the best, it takes a lot of time back and forth. So even after we found the supplier, it was about getting the fragrance right, the mixture, making sure that it's lasting in the air, testing, and then designing the actual can. Like we said, we got into a massive kerfuffle with the supplier because we'd committed to a certain number of units, a lot of units, based on the fact that we wanted these cans black.
Yeah.
We wanted them black because the brand name is black. They came, they landed, and they were blue. They were dark blue.
They messed you up.
They
go through those. Business is full of those kind of hurdles.
It happens.
Another hurdle you guys mentioned is that when you launch...
Just before you come to that, I just want to mention to people like how deep this quality control thing goes.
Yeah.
We were talking about earlier and we were talking about you guys expanding here in Dubai, right?
Yes.
100%.
And you mentioned, look, there's a bit of an issue because Dubai gets very hot in the summer. These cans can blow up.
Yes.
So you said, look, you're trying to create an experiment, which is take one of these cars that's a bit broke up, park it in the desert, place the can inside the car and see how long it takes to blow up. If it blows up, maybe it won't. So you can adjust the cans to make it appropriate for the market. And that blew my mind. Like I wouldn't even thought about that.
Yeah.
And that level of care and concern.
It's important, man. And you know, people need to stop thinking short term. Think long term. Don't think in the moment, I'm going to land my stuff in Dubai, khalas, I'm out of there. No. For example, with us, when we do want to come to Dubai, inshallah, khair, by Allah's mercy, when the doors open and the things fall into place how He wills, inshallah, we want Noir to become the number one brand in Dubai. And that type of quality control has to happen. You can't get to the top by not putting in the effort and work.
Exactly.
You get what you deserve, not what you want. So if we put in our graft and we really keep going, and by Allah's will, things open up and things go on, we do our quality control, Noir will become that brand in the UAE where you see, what's it called? Emad is everywhere, for example. Inshallah, Noir will be everywhere.
Exactly.
Be everywhere, inshallah.
That mindset is
But out of curiosity, if there is anyone that's listening that might want to invest or open some doors or do some partnerships with you here in Dubai, how can they contact you?
So if they want to contact us,
we'll give them the email to put it in the description of the video, and they could just contact us directly there.
No problem.
Another thing you guys mentioned is that when you guys launched, first 8 months, there was pretty much nothing.
Nothing, man. It was.
How did that feel? You've gone round to the aunties, you got the nugs, and now you're thinking,
and all the money from before, the money saved up from work, everything added together.
Plus 6 months of grinding,
and
you're not seeing. What is this?
From my point of view, I was because of the amount of work we put into it beforehand, and I was going deep into detail, the quality of the product, and I thought, you know what? Once this lands, it's gonna blow straight away. It's gonna fly. That's what's gonna happen. But you realize that no matter how good your product is, if no one knows about it, it doesn't matter. It's not going to get anywhere. The key is marketing. And learning that, that's when the business started to grow.
I'm so happy you mentioned that, because you get two extremes of people. People that focus on the marketing but products, the right people focus on the product but no marketing.
Has to be balanced.
There's a book I read called Traction. I'd recommend everyone read it. It's one of the best marketing books I've read. It's a bit technical, but it hits the nail on the head. The guy says right at the beginning, he says, look, your business is 50-50 product, 50-50 marketing. Literally what you just said. So 50% of your efforts have to go on building the product, and 50% has to go on the marketing. If you compromise on either, it's going to be a flop.
Exactly.
And exception does not change the rule. I do agree with that, but there's certain scenarios I've seen, and I'm like, the product can be absolutely... the product can be oxygen. If you market it well enough, you can sell it. There was a brother in Canada I saw, he was boxing up apparent oxygen and selling it to China.
Yeah, but oxygen is a good product.
Is it? Is it an actual product?
No, because in China it's pollution, right?
Okay.
So for them,
that's demand and supply, exactly.
How do you put oxygen? I'm just like, for me, I'm just imagining a brother gets a box and just... Unless that's my naivety and my ignorance.
A lot of, I mean, I know it's in China. They were wearing face masks for the last 20 years.
It's true. They do.
Is it that bad?
Yeah, the manufacturing, the factories, all of that stuff.
Oh wow.
So go on. Sorry, I really feel bad. I cut you up. I just want to take that lesson. Right. So you started. You realize marketing is an issue.
Yeah, marketing is an issue. So in our previous ventures, what we realized that worked for us was social media. So Instagram and WhatsApp.
Okay.
And what we done was one of the previous businesses we had, we actually changed it into the Noir account, the current Noir account that we have on Instagram. I think it's on 14K followers currently, but it was on 400 followers for about a year.
Yeah.
It didn't move past that.
The Noir one.
The Noir one, yeah. So what we started doing was using old methods to promote a new product, and it just wasn't working. So we had all of this stock. We had bills to pay, we had things to do, and we didn't know how to shift this product. But that's when, again, the key comes into pivoting. You have to, if something's not working, don't give up, just change directions and try something new. So instead of doing Instagram and WhatsApp, we decided to look at this time, TikTok. TikTok was at the point where a lot of people are using it, but if the man jumped on TikTok, is moist. It was at that point. It was at that point you could say.
Because it was like, little 12, 13-year-olds.
Exactly.
That's what everyone's right?
Exactly. Now everyone's on TikTok.
People will put you down. Say, don't do that. That's not this. That's not serious.
It's like when we started the Brothers Club. The Brothers Club, right? Everyone, the guys were saying, oh, look, what this guy's doing.
Exactly.
And now some of the same guys have set up their own clubs and their own little guys.
Or they're in the Brothers Club.
They're in the Brothers Club,
It's funny, some of the cars we were driving the promo videos, some brothers were saying, oh, look at that. They're rentals. They're not even their cars. And then he opened up a car rental company. And then those same brothers were like, hey, can I rent a car? Supercar rental, by the way. Allah.
So we're one of the customers as well. Alhamdulillah. So that's why we're here in Dubai. But yeah, as I was saying, it was I forgot my train of thought. What was I talking about?
So you were saying that you you had bills to pay.
Oh yeah, TikTok, yeah.
TikTok, you jumped
So
on
yeah,
it.
TikTok was moist. But again, this is another gem that I hope a lot of brothers who are thinking, I don't want to start this because of what people are going to think about me. Bro, people's thoughts are not going to pay your bills at the end of the day. And one of the worst things that you can have is regrets that you wanted to start something. Like think about people that were like, oh, I should have bought Bitcoin. Or what did they say? A retirement home is the home of failed dreams. Something like that. Say a retirement home is the home of failed dreams.
Once reload the first one. The first one was other people's thoughts
not going to pay your bills.
are not going to pay your bills.
Never. They never will.
Wallahi, that is so deep.
Yeah.
People will be afraid to put themselves out there on camera because like, what are people going to say about me?
Exactly.
People's thoughts are not going to pay the bills. That's fire.
Yeah.
Barik.
And it's again, I'm not saying I've been someone who I don't care what people think about me. I'm gonna do what I want. No, I just had to fight against that feeling and just go for it. Alhamdulillah, I don't regret it. It's one of the best things that I ever done going onto social media because it helped us promote our brand at the end of the day. And yeah, going onto TikTok.
If you make content, you make money.
Exactly, making content. And by the way, this content is free. TikTok is free to set up. It's not paid ads. It's not. You're not paying influencers to promote your product. It's free.
And you can
just
your
go on
video
there.
can actually go further than if you put a £20,000 ad campaign on there.
Exactly. It's very true. We've seen it ourselves now that we're doing both.
And that's the same with Instagram, with YouTube, with all of that.
Exactly.
Which is why for the last decade, the bulk of our marketing has been organic. We just 3 months ago started paid ads, and even then, it didn't really bank. We're just trying to experiment with it right now.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, as we started doing more and more TikTok, you start to learn. It's a numbers game at the end of the day. Keep trying, see what works. One video will get more views than the other. Look at that video, analyze it. Okay, this is what happened. This video had a good hook. Okay, let's do this hook again.
Data.
And let's put more.
Use the data to make decisions.
Yes, use the data to make decisions. And as you see, keep using that process and you'll see your videos getting more and more and more and more traction. And like I said, TikTok, if you started a business, TikTok, in my opinion, is one of the best platforms to jump onto.
It's also one of the scariest.
It is.
It
is. Especially if you've got limited resources.
Just with TikTok, one of the ways that we avoid the fitna that's on there is I don't have the app.
Okay.
So you've got social media manager.
Social media manager.
Also, you can get like softwares like Hootsuite and things like that.
Yeah.
Where you never have to log into the app.
Yeah.
You just upload it onto the app and then they will put it onto Instagram, TikTok, all that. So if anyone is thinking,
on these apps, there's only two types of people.
Yeah.
There's merchants and there's consumers. You're either going to be a merchant, you're selling and you're making money, profiting, or you're a consumer and you're helping someone else make money, and you're consuming nonsense, which is going to fry your brain.
Exactly.
It's going to decrease your
demand.
Everything like that.
Yeah. We don't have personal accounts. Just Noir. Just Noir.
No, the business side of things is good.
Of course, for business. Maybe that's another way of doing it. Don't have personal accounts.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So you guys went through the back and forth, alarm Bedic, realized that things are not working. Now you started to change some things with the marketing, and you mentioned that you guys had a big break. You guys, so we do like live webinar sales, but these men done like live TikToks.
We've done live TikTok sales. So yeah, basically, we started, of course, as he was saying, things weren't really picking up. Nothing was happening. This was October 2021. Instagram, TikTok kept trying. The doors weren't opening. That's when as we've discussed before, TikTok Shop, we tried it. Didn't really work out for us. And we said, khalas, let it be. We'll just use social media as a platform organically, as we've been discussing, to send all the traffic to our website. However, when you learn e-commerce, what you will also learn is something else, which is to get a purchase, it's better to have minimal clicks in between that and the checkout period.
Exactly.
You have to want the lead.
The more you click, the longer customer has time to think.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So imagine from the moment you see my video, I post a video, then you click on the profile button, then you click on the link, then you scroll from a website to purchase. Do you see what I'm saying? In between that time, it gives you more time to think.
More time to think,
More time to emotionally...
Basically, it creates friction between them and the product, because the sale is emotional, and every time they're clicking, that feeling of I want this is getting less.
It's going away because it's all long. And subhanAllah, the time we live in now, instantaneous everything. You can order food from anywhere straight to your doorstep. If your internet, if the website doesn't load up in a second, you scroll, I'm not going to go to this website anymore. Everything is instantaneous. So imagine so what we done was we tried that method. It didn't work so well. And then August times, to be honest, you missed out a big part, man, your job.
Oh, the job story.
That's a big part, bro.
Okay. When you missed out a big part. Dates, you're better at dates with me. When was it when I quit?
You quit your job in, I think it was December or January.
So he's saying we've got 5 minutes left.
5 minutes left.
We can go into that story, or do you feel like, should we carry on?
There's one point I really want to mention.
Okay.
We won't go into details or specifics, but obviously you guys mentioned at the beginning when you started, you weren't that practicing, right?
Yes.
So there were certain elements in your business that weren't halal that you had at the beginning, because you guys didn't know any better.
Yeah.
Then you came to know, okay, and you had another venture as well, which again, you said there were some elements which weren't halal.
Yeah.
Then you came to realize, wait, 1 second. You guys started to realize, number one, deen, take this more seriously. Right?
Yeah.
And now suddenly, something which you could say is a core fundamental part of your content, which is making you money, and a business which had made you in the regional, you had about this, you know what I'm saying, about £15,000 from this.
18.
It was about 15, right? You
went
had some in stock.
The previous venture, 10K, you had 8K cash, 10K stock.
Oh, that venture.
So you had about 18K, right? You had about 18K, and you on the content side of things with Noir.
Yeah.
So now you realize, wait 1 second.
What was wrong with the content?
The content that we were doing.
Mention specifics. Expose sins.
Okay, it could not. Sometimes
I think one of them definitely would.
as
Hopefully, people that are doing this currently, it might bring awareness to it.
Yeah.
Because I spoke to a couple of brothers about it. I gave them nasiha, and they were like, "Thank you, brother. I genuinely didn't realize that this was an issue." So I don't mind mentioning it.
Yeah,
so
no, I think just to mention, sometimes khair, if there is a benefit of mentioning it, you can mention it.
So TikTok, what is the logo of TikTok?
The music thing.
It's a musical note. Whether you like it or not, TikTok is a music app. It runs on sounds, trending sounds, music. Artists blow up on there, businesses blow up on there, all using music. And we've realized this. Again, it's just business. You look at what's working, what's not working. Music was working. And music using trending sounds was one of the things that was helping our videos blow up. It's a part of the algorithm, you could say. Using a trending sound will help your video blow. And of course, after we started practicing after Noir had started. And we realized that I actually watched Imran's video on the reasons why music is haram. And I'd heard from people, not necessarily very knowledgeable people, that music is okay if you do this, if you do that, or you're using it for this purpose. But after watching that video, clear cut, subhanAllah, broke down using hadith, Quran, ayahs of the Quran, statements of the Sahaba, music, in no way, form can it be halal. So there's no way that you can use it to promote your business. So what we had to do was come to a conclusion and come to you could say like a full stop. Music stops here in all of our TikTok videos. And that's what we did do. But subhanAllah, from doing that, it was, at the end of the day, you're kind of limiting your growth on that platform. That's the mindset you could have, is that I'm limiting my growth on this platform. And it also caused, should we talk about the friction it caused between us?
Yeah, we nearly fell out.
Yeah, it caused some friction between us. Because I felt more strongly about it than Nakhil at the time. Again, everyone's on their own journey of practicing, right? Everyone has different stages at different times in their lives. So because of that, we nearly fell out. But alhamdulillah, we came to a conclusion. We said, we're going to leave this off for the sake of Allah, inshallah. And from doing that, Allah is going to give us something better. And subhanAllah, because of that, we ended up going, because now we need another reason, because organic videos, they blow well with music. So we said, you know what, we need to find another way to now shift this stock. And what we did was we moved over back to TikTok Shop. And the beautiful thing is, TikTok Shop, when you try to add music to your videos anyway, and this was something that kind of put us off it at the beginning, is that it didn't let you add music, certain types of music, usually trending sounds, because they would be copyrighted. You can't use it for commercial content like paid money. So we were like, you know what, we don't even need music anymore. So now we could jump back on TikTok Shop. And subhanAllah, through jumping on TikTok Shop, that's probably where a lot of people's first touch point with Noir is, because of our TikTok Shop videos or our TikTok Shop lives.
Can I, you know what, there's a point to mention, I'm sorry, well, I had to mention this. You said something deep. You said you, at the time, were thinking, well, that's our method of growing organically, that's gone now, right? Allah says in the Quran, الشيطان يعيدكم الفقر ويأمركم بالفحشاء والله يعيدكم مغفرة منه وفضلا والله واسع عليم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that shaitan threatens you with poverty. Says you're going to be poor. And then he commands you to do evil. Allah says, when Allah promises you forgiveness and virtue, like Allah's going to give you. Allah says, shaitan's telling you, you're going to be poor. He's trying to scare you. Allah's promising you, I'm going to take care of you. Imam Hassan al-Basri said, I looked at the Quran and I noticed that there's about 90 odd times that Allah promises to provide for you. And one time where Allah says shaitan threatens you. He says, and we listen to the one time shaitan threatens us over the 90 plus times Allah promised us. Right? So that's the first thing. Allah's told you, I'm going to give you. Don't stress, don't become scared. Obey me. The second thing here, which is deep here, is that the fact that TikTok Shop, doesn't allow you to put those sounds. Shows that they know you can sell
without
the music.
Exactly.
So even they know that it's possible to do without the music.
And subhanAllah, like I said, we're by no means perfect. We sin, and we always try our best to 100% keep our wealth as halal as possible. But I want to use it as an opportunity for any brothers who are using music currently and they know in their heart that this is wrong, I shouldn't be doing this, but it's a means of me to gain wealth. Akhi, you don't need it. No. Wallah, you don't need it. And even from leaving it, Wallah, Allah may place something even better in it for you. So
this brother is a good brother. He's close to me. He's a good friend, and he's watching right now. And I hope he doesn't mind me using this example. And it's all love if you're watching. Don't take it the wrong way. I had a discussion with him about this, and I told him, listen, bro, you do realize the music you're using in your content and for the business you have, it's going to cause you harm. He goes, it's fine, bro. I go, why is it fine? He goes, bro, the day I die, I've given my login details to my brothers. And the day I die, if anything happens to me, I'll delete it. But I go, Akhi, all of the sin you racked up while you were alive, it's not just going to disappear. All these people, because what people don't think is this, is let's say you put a song up and to them it sounds nice and they listen to it every single time after that. And the person after that, they share it with all these sins coming to you because you're the source of it.
And someone might have downloaded your content.
Exactly.
There you go. Your brothers might delete it from your account, or someone else has downloaded it. They upload it to a different page.
The same way you have Sadaqah Jariyah when you pass away.
The angels have written it.
They've written it.
When Sadaqah Jariyah, the same way you have Sadaqah Jariyah, for example, which is essentially good deeds being racked up even after you've passed away. For example, planting a tree and giving somebody shade. There's also the opposite side where sins can rack up while you're in your grave as well. People don't understand this concept, and I think one thing that's not. People don't understand is the severity of what you're doing.
Exactly.
Sin is sin, but I think the one sin that's not forgiven is the one that's not forgiven, of course, but a very not forgiven is the sins that are exposed. You're exposing your sins here. For what?
This is actually one of the reasons I actually stopped music. Was I remember I was walking around and my day we had music CDs, right, with mixtapes and discs form, and the imam, the caretaker in the masjid looked at me and said, Imran, because every guy that listens to this music that you make, you'll carry his sin on the day of judgment.
Wow,
it's scary.
We're going to have to conclude, but just one last thing to mention, because you guys mentioned this earlier. You threw away from your other venture £10,000 worth of stock and about £6,500 or £8,000 worth of cash. You gave it away in Sadaqah because you realized this was made from that haram venture.
Yeah.
You guys cut off all the music and all the everything else you had that was haram.
Yeah.
And the next 2 months, what happened?
Next 2 months, things turn on their head. I've never seen that much money in a bank account at one time in my life.
Me neither.
We've never seen it.
Look at it, it's right there.
Within 2 months, and we went from a warehouse which was 50 square feet, within a matter of 2 months, 50 square feet to 1,000 square feet. Within 2 months.
I swear by Allah, I tell brothers this.
So you 20x
the warehouse size.
The warehouse
and our
size
stock, there's a picture on our Instagram. If you go on our handle,
it's on our pinned pictures.
It's a pinned picture. That warehouse used to only be able to store a pallet and a half or 2 pallets.
Max, yeah.
We're sitting on 13 pallets in our new warehouse.
Allah
within 2 months that happened.
Yeah.
Within 2 months. And wallahi, we take no credit. Wallahi, Adeem, no credit. It's all from Allah. Like, if we can do it coming where we came from and give up what we gave up for the sake of Allah, and He can give us that, anybody watching, there's nobody stopping you from doing it as well. So, do you know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you, man, wallahi, this is beautiful. Like this is the deen.
You
do what Allah has told you to do.
Yeah.
He will give you what He's it's a simple. It's a very simple equation, my brothers.
I don't know why we don't trust Allah.
It's a very simple equation.
Yeah.
Allah has given us. If you do this, I will do this. But what if? There's no what if.
No, there's no what if.
Do it, and you'll see the results.
Trust in His plan. Have tawakkul.
And that doesn't mean Allah won't test you and make you wait.
Yeah, you
won't come overnight. The same way there's no overnight success in business, no overnight success in terms of iman. Right? Allah will test your iman to see if you're really about it. But Allah and Barak, man, you guys did that and you sold out 3 times in 2 months. That's nuts if people think about it. Like Allah and Barak selling out your entire stock 3 times in 2 months.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. So look, we could have spoken so much more, man, but now you guys are here in Dubai, Allah and Barak. You guys are trying to expand the brand, add new items to your range.
When you man leaving?
Some deals out here.
Tomorrow morning. Yeah. Flying out,
You trying to move out here or something? Maybe something.
Inshallah, I hope to in the future.
Inshallah.
In the future,
definitely.
inshallah.
We want to. There's nothing really back in the UK. I mean, it's beautiful here, man. It's nice.
Yeah, meeting brothers like yourselves as well.
100%. Well, meeting brothers like yourselves.
I always thought I'd meet you guys in the UK, not in Dubai.
No. Meeting brothers like yourselves.
Allah bless you guys. Listen, before we end, just spray it, please.
Spray
it for me.
I
miss the smell.
And again, people don't realize it. I heard, because we ordered it for our office. I think I ordered it a couple times. And we ordered it because you met one of my business partners before in the masjid at a class.
In the masjid, yes, yeah.
He then mentioned you guys. He had it with him. He sprayed it. I was like, this is man. Where'd you get it from? He says, it's a company called Noir. I said, send me the link. I ordered it through the masjid.
Alhamdulillah.
Through the masjid. Look at that.
Masjid.
Crazy. But yeah, this is the spray.
As you can see, a lot comes out.
Very powerful.
Very powerful.
That's all you need in any room or any car. Just one burst will do the job.
How's it smell, Mandem?
You know what it is? I usually have a blocked nose. I usually wear these, nose strips.
The nose strips, yeah.
But this is coming through even the blockage. The blockage is getting unblocked right now. Well, I'm not just saying that.
So nice. You know, this actually reminds me of the studio now that we had in
Studio,
London.
yeah.
You know what we were doing? We were doing a matic.
But towards the end, it had to stack. Brothers were leaving old food and whatnot.
Not this. You're forgetting the reason we got this is because it was starting to stink.
No. I got that before that.
No.
Towards the end.
No, it was towards the end you got this. It was
I don't remember.
I can't lie. We started spraying a bit too much. We started choking. I remember I would run around the office going.
We have to wrap it up. Yeah. We were late and then we were overtime as well.
May Allah bless you, brothers. Allah Jazakallah khair. May Allah bless you guys.
My brothers. Ameen.
If anyone wants to collaborate with the brothers, possibly do a business partnership, bring them over here to the Middle East, something, whatever have you. They're out here, mashallah. They already got some people that have taken their stock here. Get in touch with them. The email below. Anyone wants to purchase some of the stock,
website down below.
Put all the information below, inshallah. Well, that's it, Nakhi Ahmed Bhai. With that said, سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم
ورحمة الله وبركاته.